Hey guys, welcome to Mad Scientist BBQ. I'm Jeremy Yoder. Today I'm here with Johnny White from Goldies BBQ, #1 barbecue restaurant in Texas. And you probably know him as Jerby BBQ from YouTube, but today we're going to test out some of the methods that the top restaurants use to cook their briskets. Hey guys, I want to thank today's sponsor, Audible. If you don't know about Audible, you need to learn because it has a tremendous selection of audiobooks. They have new releases, bestsellers, they have music, they have podcasts, all kinds of resources all in one place, and it's convenient to listen to them. For me, I use Audible when I'm driving, when I'm running a fire for barbecue, when I'm on a plane. Basically, any time that would otherwise be dead time, I can use to listen to Audible and improve myself by listening to experts. My favorite thing is to find a book written by an expert and explore new areas that I don't know anything about. I know a few things, I know some science, I know some barbecue, and I love to learn about those, but there's so many other things that I find tremendously interesting, and Audible has so many titles I can always find what I'm looking for. In fact, I could be listening to Audible from now until the day I die and never run out of material. The library is so large. In addition, they're constantly updating their library of titles so you can stay up to date on whatever topics interest you. And as an Audible member, you get one free title each month to keep. Now, here's the best part. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Just go to audible.com/MadScientistBBQ or text Mad Scientist BBQ to 500-500. It's an amazing resource, and you guys are going to be glad if you check it out. All right, now before we get started, what's step one? What do we have to do?
We gotta start a fire.
All right, sounds good. I love fires. All right, Jerby, we have 3 briskets here. They're all from the same manufacturer, everything. They're all similar in size. And so to do this test, we're going to try 3 different methods. What are the 3 different methods we're going to use?
So today we're going to be using the Goldies Method, the Franklin Method, and the foil boat method.
So like the Leroy and Lewis type way?
Yes, the Leroy and Lewis.
Okay, so these are 3 examples of top 10 restaurants in Texas. And so we're going to do a blind taste test and give them a fair shake.
Yes.
Are you nervous at all?
No, not really. Not really.
Okay.
I think the Goldies Method is going to come out on top.
Well, you already got that #1, so it's hard to argue with, right? So we have a rub here, and it says Goldies BBQ.
Yes, that's our. This is our Goldies BBQ brisket rub.
Okay, so how similar is this to what you actually use in the restaurant?
It's pretty much identical to what we use.
So the flavor profile that somebody gets when they come to the restaurant, they can recreate with this rub right here.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, so these are already trimmed, and if there are any bald spots, that's probably my fault. But what do we have to do to get these ready to go on?
We got the fire started, and now we're just going to slather them up with some warm water and season them up with the brisket rub.
Okay, so what does the warm water do that you might not get with some other kind of slather?
If the fat is really, really cold, it's a little bit more hard. Warm water will soften that fat up a little bit, and this rub will stick a lot better, and just rubs in general will stick better to a little bit warmer fat.
Yeah, I think that totally makes sense because that same problem you have when you're trying to trim warm fat is what makes the rub stick. So
yes.
If you trim it when it's cold, allow it to warm up enough so the rub sticks, then you get even coverage?
Yes,
Got
absolutely. It sticks to that fat a lot better.
Okay, all right, let's get them seasoned up and get them on the smoker.
Yeah.
Because I've never said to myself after cooking barbecue, man, I got that stuff on too early. So let's get it on. I'm excited about this. I'm legitimately curious to know which one I would prefer.
Yeah.
Because I've tried the foil boat method before. I'm like, it's good, it has merit, but I don't think I like it as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
all right.
definitely. I think Well, I might be able to do the foil boat better than Brad, so.
What's the deal with you and Brad? All right, so we got the 3 different methods we're going to use. We got the butcher paper, we got the foil boat, and we have cooking completely unwrapped and then letting it rest in foil.
Yes.
So let's start with the one that people usually associate with Central Texas style barbecue. That's wrapping in paper. There are benefits and drawbacks to every method, but for that one, I think a benefit would be kind of softens the bark a little bit. It's a vehicle to add tallow or other things like that. But what are some drawbacks do you see in using butcher paper that makes you not use it here?
As far as like the butcher paper retaining moisture, it doesn't do a very good job compared to the foil.
Right.
And taking it out and wrapping it in butcher paper can really slow down your cook time and prolong the cook, even if it does speed it up once you've wrapped it.
So it kind of cancels out.
Yeah, it kind of cancels out.
Okay.
Like as far as like, you know, you're wrapping it to speed it up, but you also took it out and let it cool down to wrap it up and stuff like that. So especially when you're doing like 50 briskets or 24 briskets on 1,000 gallon, it'll definitely slow down your cook time.
Gotcha. And then it makes a huge mess.
Yes.
I know from experience, it's like everything is covered in grease afterwards.
Pulling out 50 butcher paper wrapped briskets out of your warmer, like I said, it doesn't really trap that moisture in there.
Sure.
Like any of the fat that you rendered in there or any fat that you added to the paper, it's pretty much going to end up on your floor.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's talk about the next method, the foil boat. I see a benefit to this as you have more time to render fat,
Yes.
and you cover up the meat side, so maybe it speeds up the cook a little bit.
Yes.
But why not do that?
I actually don't have a lot of experience doing the foil boat, but I'm thinking it should work that way.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I think holding it might be the biggest issue of the foil boat. It not being completely enclosed in something might cause it to have a weird reaction to holding in a warmer for 12 hours.
Fair enough. I know there are some places that will take things that they've wrapped in butcher paper and then put plastic wrap on the outside because even that isn't protected enough for them.
Yeah, even the paper isn't. It will kind of have a weird effect being in the warmer so long as well. So the plastic wrap would counteract that.
Got it. So the final method, what you guys do here, I don't think this has been revealed on the internet yet, but it's about to be.
Yeah.
You're going to let it go unwrapped the entire time,
Yes.
and then what?
And then we're going to wrap it. Once we feel like the brisket is done or being close to done, we will take it out, wrap it up in foil with a little bit of tallow at the bottom.
Okay. So it hangs out in the warmer, encased in the foil with the tallow in there. So what you have is a product that's really nice and juicy. And because you've gone unwrapped for the entire cook, it kind of allows the bark to settle back into exactly what you want.
Yes. So we feel like we're rendering fat very well doing this, not wrapping it the entire cook. It gives us so much time to render fat. It is a lot cleaner than wrapping in paper as far as pulling it out of the warmers during service.
Sure.
Also, if you are going to add tallow to a wrap, there's nothing better than foil and tallow in a brisket.
Sure.
And if you think, the paper does help soften the bark, but also since we've gone to unwrap the whole time, we're going to close it. We're going to enclose it in foil, and that's going to help soften the bark a lot as well while it rests.
Right. That totally makes sense. And for anybody watching, we know that all these methods can work. Okay? Because all these methods are represented in the top 10 in Texas barbecue. So Snow's used to, well, I think Snow still does, but wrap in foil to finish cooking.
Yes.
Then you had Franklin that wraps in paper to finish cooking. And then now we have Goldies, they're not wrapping in anything to finish cooking. It's only after the cooking is done that they use this method. So they can obviously all make incredible food, but we're going to put them head to head and find out what we like best.
Yep. Yes, we are.
Cool. All right, it's getting to be time to wrap these briskets. So let's take a peek before we start wrapping them up. Okay, so the first way we're going to do it is we're going to wrap in a foil boat. And to help me do that, we're going to bring on Lane, who's an owner and pitmaster here at Goldies. And he worked at Friedman's where they originated the foil boat. So he's a foil boat expert and he's going to be our representative for that method here. So how did it start and how do you do it? What's the correct way to do it?
So it started when one of the sous chefs, I think he pulled the foil too short or something like that. But it ended up where the brisket wasn't completely covered in foil because they used to wrap in foil. And then Evan walked up and he said, hey, that's a pretty good idea. And they kept doing it.
Because they liked it better and just kept rolling with it.
They liked it better and they kept rolling with it.
Okay, so can you demonstrate the proper way? Because I've never done it.
So we're going to pull 2 sheets of foil and then we're going to crisscross them.
Okay. Are you going to bare hand that thing from there? It's impressive. I'm still weak.
So once you get your foil situated, you're gonna grab the brisket, place it in the middle. We're gonna crinkle it around the edges, and the idea is that it helps protect it. And then it keeps the top exposed so it can keep rendering and stay crispy.
Sounds good?
Yep.
Let's find out. All right, thank you, Lane. So, the second brisket we're gonna wrap in paper, and Johnny's worked at places where they wrap in paper, so he has wrapped hundreds of briskets this way. He's our paper wrapping expert. So why don't you come in and show us how it's done?
Alrighty, so this is exactly how I used to do it at and I'm gonna show you all that today. So basically we would take a little bit of cold tallow, put it right down in the middle.
It's 108 degrees today, so it's not staying cold.
This is cold for Texas. Take this brisket right here, put it right on top, and then I'm just gonna wrap it up.
That smells good.
It does smell very good. A little bit. Fold in these edges. And that's how I like to paper wrap it.
Okay, I have a quick question though.
Yes.
What's the proper length for the paper? Because I use paper that's too long.
Yes.
But I'm always like, oh, it's safer this way. What's the proper length in your opinion?
In my opinion, just something pretty short that just gives it a good cover overall, and nothing too much you have to fold up under it. Because usually when you don't want a whole lot of paper under it, because when you're feeling it for doneness, that can kind of get in the way of feeling the lean really, really well.
Got it. Well, us mere mortals use thermopens and other digital instruments.
No, when you're pulling a lot of briskets, you want to be able to just kind of pick it up, like that one's done, and throw it away. And throw it in. Yeah.
Got it. All right, cool. Let's put that on.
There we go.
Okay, there's one that's currently unwrapped.
Yes.
So we're going to do the wrapping method that you use here at Goldies, but we're going to have to wait for that?
We are. It is not quite done yet. It'll probably come off with the rest of them.
Okay, so what's the plan on that? We're going to leave it unwrapped until when?
We're going to take it to about, tipping right into the middle of the brisket, I want to say right at 195 internally. But we can also kind of feel underneath it as well and kind of tell where we are with that.
Okay, so we're going to show you that in a few minutes. All right.
And if you ain't looking, good luck cooking. Yeah.
If you ain't looking, good luck cooking.
I love looking. Yeah. You've seen it today. We just keep looking at it. So what are they doing?
Now, to do the Goldies method on the third brisket, we're going to have Chuck, who's a pitmaster here at Goldies, and she's been making the briskets here for the last 6 months. Her pedigree working at great barbecue restaurants speaks for itself, and be on the lookout for her restaurant coming very soon. But until then, you can follow her on Instagram at Barbecue Rat. So Chuck, you want to show us how it's done?
Yes. Alrighty, so I'm gonna first pull the foil, and I don't want it to be too long. About this big. You basically want to have a good coverage between both sides. And I have some cold tallow, and I'm gonna put it right over here. So I like to use about half a cup of tallow, and I kind of put it where I'm going to be putting the points, the fatty side. All right. Feels super nice.
Oh,
Look
looks
at
really
that.
good.
I put it right there, and I'm checking for softness all around. Very nice, very nice.
So we didn't blow it?
No, not at all. This looks one of the best. We're checking for rendered fat, so I'm just kind of pinching apart and looking at the fat, and it has a caramel brown look, and that's when you know you did the job. So you
I'll take this with me to my grave.
Yes.
I did it.
I would say all around this is close to perfect brisket.
I'm going to live on that for the next year.
And so now I'm going to fold the foil this side, that side. Then I'm going to kind of just karate chop and fold over. And there you have it, like the easiest wrap ever, and the tallow is gonna stay in there. It's
Sure. So I just want to clarify for any of the viewers. This thing cooked completely, and we wrapped at the end when it's done cooking.
Yes, that for the purpose of setting a good bark and rendering fat as much as possible.
So it's not about finishing it earlier. It's not the Texas crutch. It's just we want everything to be perfect by the time it's served.
Yes.
Okay. No, this is great. I have to try this. I mean, it obviously works. I've tasted the brisket, so I need to try it for myself. And thank you so much for showing us.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Get it, son. Okay, all 3 briskets are done at this point, and so we have to do what all the top Texas spots do. They let the briskets rest overnight, and so we're gonna taste them tomorrow. Overall, the mill scale really impressed me. It's really nice to use. I wanna do some more testing with that in the future, but very happy with all these. We're gonna let them cool a little bit, then put them in the warming oven. We'll show you that too. And then the real test is tomorrow when we have an expert panel, some very special guests who are gonna be tasting this and letting us know what they think. Sweet. Hi, I'm Jeremy.
Hey, how's it going? Daniel.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I think I've been reading your stuff and watching your stuff online for, I don't know, a long time. So
Okay.
it's cool to meet you.
No, you can't tell me that. You just followed me on Instagram yesterday.
Well, hold on.
No, it's cool. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
And
This
I've
is
seen
awesome.
your videos, and yeah, so we got, 3 different brisket methods here? They've
Yeah.
already told me how they gamed it so that the Goldies Method wins.
Right. Yeah, so we had 3 different ways because there are spots in the top 10 that do kind of drastically different ways of finishing off briskets. And so what I like to do is try different stuff and find out what works best or what I prefer. And so I thought, well, from here, like cooking with these guys, try them all 3 and find out which is the best. Brad,
Okay. Well,
what took you so long, man?
the,
Oh, well, I'm glad you didn't get crushed.
okay.
Dude, it's good.
Okay.
Oh, here. Exactly. Okay, our special tasting panel is going to consist of Lane, Jalen, and Chuck, all pitmasters here at Goldies. And then we have Chud, you guys probably know Chud's Barbecue. And of course, we have the supreme barbecue pope, Daniel Vaughn, the barbecue editor for Texas Monthly. And so we have as good a tasting panel as you could possibly hope for. And then I included myself because I want to taste these briskets. The process is going to be pretty simple. We're going to bring out one sample, then the next, after which we select our favorite. After that, we can talk about the merits of the ones that we like and maybe things that we don't like about others, but we'll have an open discussion. But that's going to be after we've selected our favorite and we don't discuss it amongst ourselves first.
I really like the smokiness of A. It certainly had the most smoke to it. I really liked the flavor of all of them.
I think C was the one I think I enjoyed the most. The burn end I think had the best flavor of any bite
Yes.
on C of anything that I had today.
I agree with you on that.
So in order, I thought 1 was Goldies, 2 was Foil Boat, 3 was Franklin. I thought that this one was the most robust. It had that crunchy bark. The bottom's definitely washed out, like you mentioned. I thought 1 was really great, awesome flavor. All 3, fantastic. That rub, whatever you guys used, solid stuff.
It's really good. All right, Chuck. Chuck is, you've been cooking the briskets here for what, 6 months? All right, so the person who's responsible for maintaining Goldie's reputation for 6 months, what do you think?
I agree with Chud. Those were my first guesses, and I second guessed myself. Well, like I did a whole nother review, but I'll go with my first guess. Same as Chud.
So did you pick a favorite, Chuck?
Same thing as you, where I was more concentrated on picking which one was which, and didn't really like.
Because
taste
this
it
is a
all.
competition about rightness.
Yes.
It's really what it is.
I think A was, I want to say that was the paper one that had like the least rendering on the top fat. So I'm guessing maybe that might be it. B was definitely Foil Boat. I do like the bark texture on the Foil Boat. I would say C was our method. It had like really good rendering pretty much on the fat. And you can kind of taste that tallow in there too. So
I would say that the best lean was C. I thought it was the juiciest, it had the best fat render, the texture was nice. I thought that was the Goldies. I thought the fatty end on C was maybe a slightly bit grainy.
happens.
On B, I would say that was, and A was the most smoky, maybe a little too smoky for me. C is my favorite lean end, and C/A were my favorite fatty ends.
So C, you said the fatty end was grainy.
Yes.
Is that a code word for overcooked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing that grain structure on B though.
But I
Jalen, did you pick a favorite? Did you have a favorite?
C, yeah, C was my
Okay.
favorite.
All right.
To be fair, Johnny and Lane taste quality control more than me, so I really only taste it on Sundays. So they have a lot. They should know.
To be fair, I'm really drunk.
I initially thought that A could have been the Goldies one, and I was getting confused with A and C. So
I knew from the get-go.
So I think we can all agree that there was good flavor. The skeleton of what each one of these is would be good. Maybe dial it in a little bit more. I don't know that you can make a wrong choice. Obviously, there have been #1 restaurants that wrap in paper. There have been #1 that wrap in foil. And then you guys are #1. You do your own kind of version of this. So they can all obviously work. It's just about how you execute it. So, can you tell us what A was?
It was paper, B, C, gold.
Okay. Yeah.
Jalen won?
Lane
What is it? You got them all?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, they're pretty.
Okay.
it's weird that the butcher one was so smoky.
Yeah, that was the weird part about it. That's why it kind of threw
That's
me
the
off.
liquid
It
smoke
was-
that Johnny added.
It was the closest to the fire, but I didn't think it'd be. Or no, it was in the middle.
It was definitely the smokiest,
Maybe
Yeah.
like
maybe
by
it's cracked in
far.
there.
But it was also the saltiest, so I don't think it was like something like that.
I think you've tried different methods on your own briskets, and so you do the tallow and you do the foil. Which one do you think is muting the smoked flavor then?
The tallow at the end.
Okay.
I think it's muting it a little bit too. Because it's not. It's the tallow that we add to the rest isn't smoked. It's
Right.
just so I think that's balancing out that smoke flavor along with the salt that we
I
put.
feel like the butcher paper might have been. You said it was in the middle though, right?
Yeah, it's in the middle.
Yeah.
That's so
That's really
weird.
weird, yeah,
Maybe
well,
it pulled out like more moisture to the top or something. I don't know.
Why? I have no idea why that one would be the smokiest. I
It
would
was-
either think it was.
It was like by a
oil
good
over
amount,
the-
It was aggressively smoky.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to
Well,
ask
I mean, I'm asking because I've gone to barbecue joints who use foil, and it really washes out a lot of that smoky flavor and turns it into sort of a roast flavor.
I have a theory. You can reject it if you want. So I think there are 2 things that are possibly happening. One is once you seal that in with fat all around it, it will prevent the exterior surface from drying out. I think some of those compounds, the flavor compounds in the smoke, because they're by definition volatile, they can be given off as a gas. If you seal everything in, it kind of keeps it there. But if you dry it out, then I think it can again be given off as a gas. And so you maybe possibly eliminate some of the smoke flavor.
Mad Scientist.
And then sure. And then possibly, I don't think this actually happens, but it's worth testing. All right, when you wrap in the tallow and paper, it kind of soaks the outside of the paper, and there are certain hydrophobic compounds or fat-soluble compounds in smoke that could potentially start to leach into the paper and then onto the brisket. Possibly. I don't think that happens though. But at home, I smoke the tallow.
Oh, they all got smoked the same, pretty much.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like that's when you get most of the smoke flavor anyway.
Yeah.
So they all got smoked the same in the beginning, all unwrapped, all raw.
Were you all wrapping with paper when you opened here?
Yes. Yeah.
So
for sure.
what is it that made you want to change?
The fat render.
I also think that putting tallow on butch paper, you're trying to turn butch paper into foil.
Basically, by like sealing it, yes.
But with the foil boat method, you're getting the same amount of smoke
Yeah,
on top. You just get the nicer, crispier fat.
Yeah. So that's
So why not just do that?
it's
No, I'm asking.
What is most interesting is that the foil boat and the Goldies Way wasn't the two smokier ones, but
Right.
as far as that goes, we do like the crispy bark. It's really really great. But I think it's just a preference thing where we like the softer, more velvety bark. From the like, we're basically doing the best of foil boat and paper by no wrapping and resting the foil.
And sometimes
But
it
is
is
it harder to
crispier on the block too than like this one. Like it's definitely not as crispy as like a foil boat, but it definitely got like some sort of crispy.
Yes,
to it.
it does. It does have a slight.
This one didn't show that as much.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if you had like a foil boat pro, it would be even more crispy.
Yes. what do you think about the foil boat? Was it?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Did we do our best?
Did these all have the same slather and rub?
Exactly the same.
Okay. Gotcha.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was the best fatty slice I had, was the middle one.
I thought the fat looked really nice on the foil boat,
Yeah.
as well as the C one, or as the Goldies one.
Honestly, after I had the foil boat one, I was scared it was gonna be the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the one you like the best, but you guessed that C was yours.
I like the lean the best on C, the money bag was best on C,
Okay,
the
yeah,
fatty
I got
was best on A, because I had
Yeah, I
slices
did.
from the middle of the brisket on the fatty end.
C definitely had more of a glisten to it, but I went with the flavor over the visual. But
Did you choose one as your favorite?
I liked B, but I like that crispiness. But I also think that the B is probably, that foil boat is probably harder to deal with when you're holding for a long period of time.
Yeah, that's another.
Takes up more space because we can't stack them.
You can't stack them.
Yeah.
This was fun though.
Yeah,
this is-
did you like it?
It was eye-opening for sure.
I think the one I liked the least actually was A, and I've been wrapping in paper. So No,
Everyone
but
else, same with
I
everyone.
thought because it had the bark with the least integrity and the fat wasn't rendered as well as the other two, I thought this was the paper. I was pretty much ready to take it to the bank that B was foil boat, but the very best bite of any barbecue I had today was from C, and so I chose C. I don't know.
And that's why your burn end's gone.
That's correct. It's gone.
There were people who wrote into me after the top 50 came out and basically telling me what an idiot I was for choosing this place.
So you got my letter.
And that I should have chose that one or that one. And they asked me for a comment, like the people from Texas Monthly who handle the roar of the crowd, right, the comments. And they said, do you have any comment? And I said, yes, and you can print it. You may all go to hell and I'll go to Goldies.
I love that.
That's good.
And they didn't print it.
Yeah.
They didn't print it.
That would have been great. That would we'd have it framed up.
Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button down below and you can subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure to check out Chud's Barbecue, Jerby Barbecue, and Goldies Barbecue on Instagram if you want to be up to date on all the happenings in barbecue. And you can also check out Daniel Vaughn, who writes the best barbecue articles in the world. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
What about Chad?
Oh, barbecue. Oh, sorry.
First try.
We can do it again.
You're wearing the shirt, brother. That's all.
Okay. This is Chuck. Talking. I'm here today with Johnny White and a truck. That breeze feels real nice.
Definitely super nervous next to the Mad Scientist.
Yeah, don't be.
I couldn't even tell who was Jeremy and who was Chuck.
I feel like that's a big insult to you, Chuck.
Street cleaner. Yeah, street cleaner. That's the loudest one.
Hold on one second.
I love it. I love
And
that.
it'd be funnier.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it.
This is great. It's like, and the winner is foil boat. Johnny takes the cameras back. Sorry. this guy right here.
Goldies rub. I think they just open Lowry's bottles and dump it. Look at that slab.
Big old boy.